I'm in a sexual relationship with my sister. It started when we were both horny teenagers at the time who were curious about sex. We had played doctor as kids numerous times, as most siblings do, and eventually we started making out, so to speak. For the first time it happened, we'd been watching a movie in our room, and I tried to use my moves. We ended up kissing, and things slowly moved from there. We didn't immediately start having sex or anything. It was pretty gradual, like any other relationship is, especially as teens. My first experience with just physical contact, like kissing and touching, was pretty wild. There was definite shame involved. I felt scared of what God would do to us, but being a horny teenager, I managed to overlook it somehow. The first time we had sex was pretty special, but my feelings of guilt and shame were gone by then. It took us over 2 years to finally get to that point, and by then, it was hard to feel bad about our actions. We've tried to hide it as best we could. We still share the same room. Because of how small the house is, there are only 2 bedrooms, one for our parents and one for us. The only one I think who might have some inkling of what was going on might have been our mother. She caught us wrestling once. We were clothed, thank God, but it was obvious what was going on. However, she never said anything and never made us move out of the room. So maybe not. At the least, I've never told anyone in real life and probably never will. Cousin played with my PP while I was asleep and I wasn't mad. For some background, me and my cousin are really close and do everything together. She's 1 year older than me. We hate being apart from each other. We go to the movies, to the mall, and even go out to eat together. I never looked at her in any romantic way. We were so close. Our parents even let us have sleepovers. I went over to her house like any other day. When I walked in, she had these shorts that made her bottom look insanely huge. My manhood got rock hard. She came in for a hug and I was hoping she didn't feel it. She would have been grossed out. Her parents were in the living room watching TV, so we headed up to her room. At this point, I'm trying to get that behind bottom, if you know what I mean. She kept insisting me to have some water, so I just said yeah. I drank the water and we started watching Netflix. Just 10 minutes in, I got sleepy. Out of nowhere. I was so tired, I wasn't even rock anymore. I told her I was going to sleep and she was all right with it. But then out of nowhere, I wake up to her going at it with my pants all the way down. I can't believe what was happening. I was enjoying myself, but so confused at the same time. I get her off of me because at the end of the day, we're cousins. After that happened, I looked at her in a different way. If you were in my situation, what would you do? Subscribe, or this happens to you. I busted a fat load sister. This all started when she got stuck in the washing machine. So like any normal 10-year-old would, for some dummy backshots. For some background, me and my stepsister and I have always had a friendly relationship. She's a few years older than me and I can't deny that she's pretty attractive. She's got this long wavy hair that frames her face perfectly. But most importantly, she got some humongous mommy milkers. Holy moly. I could water both them for hours. But anyways, I've never thought of her in that way, of course. But a few days ago, I was home alone just chilling on the couch when I heard some noise coming from the laundry room. I went to investigate and found my stepsister stuck in the washing machine. Her body was fully wedged in there. She must have been trying to reach something that had fallen behind the machine. Her behind was sticking out facing me. I rushed towards her, panicking that she could be hurt. I grabbed her waist and started pulling, trying to get her unstuck. I honestly think she got stuck due to her mommy milkers being so huge. As I felt her soft skin and the curve of her body beneath my hands, I started to lose control. So I told her that I'd seen this before in a movie, and the only way to get her unstuck was by the power of backshots. Surprisingly, she agreed. I started taking her to Pound Town. Holy guacamole. Did she have a gorilla grip? I almost passed out. Sadly, this didn't work. So like any 10-year-old, I turned on the washing machine and went back to watching TV. My sister made me nut so hard that I passed out and somehow woke up in the shower while our parents were home. After this experience, I have started believing in a higher power, specifically my sister's tongue. She and I are both very active in the bedroom. The only problem we both have is that sometimes one of us takes an incredibly long time to finish, sometimes resulting in an hour of straight pounding, which leaves us both with friction burns on our pelvis. We throw toys into the equation, and while they definitely work, we are always searching for something better and better. One of the things we recently stumbled across was Aphrodisiac chocolate, made to enhance pleasure. Both intrigued, we decided to buy some online from Tabs, and the results were not what I expected, to say the least. When we ordered it, we made a pack, not engage in any intimate activity until it arrived, to see how good these things really were. They came 4 days later, and that same day, I came over to my sister's house. Just my luck, as our parents were there. But was I really going to let that stop me? Hell no. If mom catches us, she could join in for all I cared. She's hot too. Anyway, after exchanging some formal pleasantries with our parents, we headed upstairs. The look dad gave me showed he very much knew that his daughter was about to get pounded with him. There, but once again, oh well. So when we got to my sister's room, we ate the tabs of chocolates that had arrived. It took a little more than the recommended amount each. We waited for it to kick in, and it did almost instantly. The next 20 minutes were spent teasing each other and making out. Then I got the urge to get some brain. I asked my sister if she could tie me up and blindfold me, then go to town. And being Atrium herself, she agreed before I even finished my suggestion. The next 20 minutes were going to be
Ordered a doll that looks like my crush. I cut a hole in the bottom of it. She has a boyfriend, so I resorted to other forms of pleasure. I went on Build-A-Bear and looked for a doll that looked identical to her. It took 3 weeks, but when I got it, everything was totally worth it. I cut a hole in the side to add stuffing so the bear would have a yacht. Then I cut a hole in the bottom and got my lube ready. I was using peppermint lube because it reminds me of the peppermint perfume my crush wears. Once I'm ready, I pull up my crush's location on Snap and edge to a location first. A gentleman edges to a location first, not the bear. Then I took the bear and almost stuck it in, but I had to resist. I ordered a voice recorder button so that with every stroke, the bear would say something my crush actually said to me. So the next day in school, I called her a bee. I hate you, B. Why don't you say you had Jamal as a boyfriend, you B? I shrieked as she insulted me back. I got so aroused, but I had to contain myself. It was sticking out so far, I almost whacked my teacher in the forehead with it. Luckily, I got out of school and rushed home so I could finally release my pleasures into the bear. I put the device in the bear and started stroking the bear. It would give me little insults, heightening my experience. Who are you? The bear would say. Or why are you stalking me on Snap? Who are you? She would say. I never even liked you, the bear would say. I reached the peak and filled the bear. If you want me to make a part 2 on delivering the bear to me, let me know.
What is the most turned on you have ever been? I was with my stepsister one night. I was 17, she was 18. Not only had I accepted my friend's week-long no-nut challenge and had teenage boy hormones coursing through my body, I had to deal with my beautiful brunette stepsister walking around in her beautiful bare feet, her thin crop top and short shorts. I decided to be sneaky. I had recently brought some SX chocolate and thought it was a good idea to take some and sit in the same room as her. Well, that is what I did. Our parents were out of the house and I took 4 squares of the Tabs chocolate. The next 2 hours can only be described as torment, as throughout the movie my legs squirmed. I began sweating, could not take my eyes off her feet, all while she was cuddled up next to me. I knew she had no romantic interest in me, so I could not risk it. Instead, I concocted a plan. I would go upstairs to use the toilet. Not to make it obvious as to why I was doing it, I decided to start groaning in stomach pain semi-consistently. Her being the sweetheart that she was, put her hand on my shoulder and whispered, "It is all okay, just relax, deep breaths." That was the breaking point. I threw my blanket off and sprinted to the toilet, sat down and rubbed one out. I think I nutted in under 20 seconds, but the nut itself lasted for close to a minute. No exaggeration. It started growing pretty loudly by the end, and she came up to ask if I'm okay between heavy breaths. I responded, "All good." I walked out another minute later and said, "Okay, I'm good now." The funny part is we ended up trying the chocolate a week later together and sleeping there, and then I'm quite ashamed to say my stepsister took my V card. Cousin sat on my meat during a car ride and I enjoyed it. For some background, me and her are both 16, let's call her Emily. Me and her always flirt as a joke. We were going to a trampoline park for my little sister's birthday party. It was about 30 minutes away. She didn't have room in her parents' car, so we let her take a ride in our car. When she got in the car, the first thing I noticed was that she had on Nike Pro shorts. Just the thought of it made my Johnson get rock. Since our car didn't have the most room, Emily had to sit on my lap and I wasn't complaining when she sat on it. I was hoping she didn't say anything about me being rock. It was going to be a long ride, so she definitely felt it. When we got to the trampoline park, my Johnson finally got to breathe. She started looking at me in a different type of way when we got there. And I can't lie, her bottom was looking huge in those shorts. I think we were both feeling each other at this point. After we left the trampoline park, she had to sit on my lap again. I thought it was going to be just like the ride there, but I decided to go to sleep and next thing I know, she is moving back and forth on it. I just pretended to go back to sleep because game is game. Am I in the wrong or should I ask for round 2?
Cousin sat on my lap during a car ride, and it got awkward. So, here's what happened. My cousin Emily and I are both 16, and we're pretty close, always joking around. One day, our families were heading to a picnic at the park, about 30 minutes away. Emily didn't have room in her parents' car, so she rode with us. Our car was packed, so Emily had to sit on my lap. At first, it was just funny, and we laughed about how cramped it was. But as we drove, it started feeling a bit awkward for me, and I was really hoping she didn't notice. When we got to the park, we both jumped out of the car as fast as we could, but later, I noticed she started giving me these strange looks, like she knew something was up. On the way back, she had to sit on my lap again, and I thought it was going to be just as awkward, but I decided to just go with it. She didn't say anything, but the vibe was definitely different. So now I'm left wondering, was it just me, or was she feeling just as weird about it as I was? Should I just forget about it, or do you think I need to clear the